A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. The three men sitting here made up a very strong chain. However, who was its weakest link? Is it Prime Minister Winston Churchill, seated to the left? At this point in the war, his country had been fighting the Germans the longest. He had also suffered a mild heart attack in 1941. Churchill knew what it felt like to sustain. In 1899, he was captured and held in a POW camp in Pretoria after war broke out between Britain and the Boer Republic. He bravely escaped, but instead of returning home, he rejoined his army. As we glance over the photograph, we see our own president sitting proudly amongst the other two political giants. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was perhaps the most powerful president in United States history. Ironically, he could have possibly been the weakest physically. His condition, polio, had left him crippled, and his health would eventually trounce him before he could see the war conclude. The photographer purposely staged this photograph so that the three could be seen as equals, all sitting down to Roosevelt's level. Now look at the man on the right. He surely shows an air of strength. Unlike the other two, he is dressed in a military-looking uniform. In his own mind, Premier Joseph Stalin was the strongest man. Just to prove this point, in his earlier years he had changed his name from Yosef Vissarionovich Saakashvili to Stalin, meaning man of steel. But eventually his power would get the better of him. After the war, he began to eradicate his rule of all unlikable persons. This would lead to the death of millions. Some argue he may have been worse than Hitler himself. The Big Three were some of the most influential leaders during World War II. Despite their obvious differences, they knew that without the unification of Great Britain, the United States, and the USSR, the evil that was Germany was sure to prevail.